Good evening. Um, Kitty's in bed. I'm in jammies, and I've got a few minutes here just to share today's thoughts with you. And you may think, is that all she ever thinks about? But when it takes up so much of your life and has taken up so much of your life, yeah, that's pretty much what you think about quite a lot. Today I was thinking about why an eating disorder, and by that I mean why is that the means in which someone uses to cope with any sort of trauma they have in their life. Is it just down to someone seeing a couple of pictures in a magazine and aspiring to be that way? Not really in my experience. That may misinform or miseducate kids that in a society where we're saying appearance is really, really important. So what you do then is you aspire to be like those people who are powerful and listened to and respected, but that then points towards a person who feels that they are powerless and ignored and disrespected. Do you get me? Anyway, I'm sort of jumping the gun. I'm not going to deal with what caused me to have my eating disorder as in the root cause. It's an issue or issues that I've never fully disclosed to anybody. I don't know if I ever will. Maybe I will. Maybe that's part of my recovery journey that is necessary. But it's not for today anyway. I'm going to sort of talk about what led to me using the eating disorder as opposed to some other coping mechanism. I know that there are endless studies that show that there's a predisposition in individuals' brains who have, there's like a commonality in their brain for those who have eating disorders. It predisposes you to using that as a coping mechanism. But that's, again, not where I'm going with this. It's sort of like environmental and social factors that contribute, and maybe that we can avoid contributing to, I guess, younger people. Personally, I believe that there's too much chat amongst particularly children about their appearance, be it good or bad, negative or positive chat, be it praise or otherwise. I don't get me wrong. I am not. I don't object to telling a child that they're beautiful. Quite the contrary. I'm not an ogre. I just mean that when that comes across as the focus of your observation, or the one that you rejoice in so ardently, children can falsely believe that it's a vitally important aspect of their person, and that image is what others celebrate with complete and utter glee. Yes, my other talents are important, or my other qualities are important, but they always notice the way I look. They always cheer about the way I look, or they always criticize the way, whatever. Just too much chitty chat about whether someone's beautiful, or as opposed to whether they're lovely. So right there, in the beginning, we're telling kids that the most important thing is you're beautiful. Yes, you're smart in this, but you're beautiful. Or yes, you're smart, but you could do with brushing up on that, or you could do with changing that. Just too much image chat. Mention it, but get the pecking order. Pecking is my Ballymoney accent. Get the pecking order right. That's just sort of what I think. It also gives them a fundamental misunderstanding that if the outward appearance is what people are acutely sort of tuned into, then that is an effective and quick way to communicate an internal emotion. If we as kids believe that someone is focusing on our external, our image, what what they see, then we will see that as the quickest route to communicating some sort of pain in the inside. Not only did I grasp these concepts really, really early, and I observed this and picked up on this very young in life, but I also had a really mammoth hatred for the way I looked. I would sit in the mirror. I remember actually sitting beside one of my friends when I was like 5 years old. 5, yeah. And saying to them, why do you like me? Why are you my friend? And I was purely basing that on my reflection. I just see myself as a very big sort of flaw. I also quickly discovered that when I looked at myself in the mirror, I didn't see features and, I didn't really see the reflection as it was in its literal form. I sort of seen an overall image of taint, error, mistake, impurity, unlikability, and a whole host of other messes really. I also quickly discovered that at school I was judged heavily on what I looked like, whether I was likable or not, or what I thought of myself, whether I liked myself or I didn't. The reason I know it was judged heavily on the external is because these people who despised me rarely spoke to me or had any sort of interaction with me. And anytime I tried to communicate with them that I wasn't what they thought I was, or I didn't think of myself as they thought I thought of myself, or I actually wasn't the kind of person they were making me out to be, they really weren't willing to listen. So I adopted a belief that by outwardly displaying an appearance of defeat, that they would then stop. I was sort of telling them that they had won. I was defeated. Yeah, I hate myself too. You hate me. I hate me. You think I'm crap. I think I'm pathetic. Look what I'm doing to myself. I don't nurture myself. I don't care for myself. I don't like myself. You've won. Stop, please. If they judge me on my outside, I communicate on what was on the outside. I was going to communicate via what was on the outside. In hindsight, I probably should have just become a confident woman who loved myself and said, you know what? Whatever you want to think, you want to think. I'm confident and I love what God made and I accept myself in my entirety, but I didn't. In my juvenile mind, I sort of believed that if I could make them stop, then I would feel less pathetic about myself. Sad, really. I also had an overwhelmingly strong desire to desexualize my body. If someone told me I was looking well, I shuddered as to what well meant. That actually still happens. I'm speaking in the past because I'm talking about how the eating disorder came about, but that's a touchy subject for someone with an eating disorder. What does well mean? What does you're looking good mean? If someone told me I was looking gaunt, this meant that my efforts were sort of having some sort of unappealing effect, and that was a positive thing to me. I was like, right, okay, gaunt, right, that's okay, that's good. I suppose I really just desired to peel into insignificance. It was never a mission to rally attention around me. The only attention I ever craved was an acknowledgement of the pain my heart was in. I didn't want any attention for being anything great. I just wanted someone to go, hey, maybe she's not doing just so good. Sorry. Anyway, people who have eating disorders need someone to notice, not because we're any more not because we're any more special than anybody else, but because as humans, we need each other. God has given us friends and helpers, people who pick up on these things, and people who are good at counselling and comforting, and people just need someone to notice. They don't need someone to notice their weight. They don't need someone to notice their appearance. They need someone to notice their pain. And I think it is important for us to start to teach our kids that communicating what is going on is much more effective with words than with weight.